home. But there are also methods of food preservation that affect our health, especially in using chemical preservatives. This afternoon, we will have a class debate so that we'll be acquainted to be a positive and negative impact of probability in our daily life activities. The situation like this. In developing municipality of Esperanza, Sultan Kudarat, there is a family with 5 children who are all studying in public elementary and high school in the said municipality. The mother is a public school teacher and has a different delegation in school. Aside from being a devoted teacher, he is also a consultant and a leader in the barangay. The father is a soldier who is assigned in the far-flung area in Maguindanao. The family has no helper. The mother doesn't have enough time to cook fresh food or nutritive food for the children. What does he do every day is to cook instant noodles, canned goods, and other artificial preserved food just to sustain the basic need of the children. The question is, what do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of eating and consuming artificial preserved food as what the family is doing? So, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a class debate. So we must call, I will call Ken J. Gresa, our moderator of this afternoon activity, to read the guidelines of the criteria of the debate, introduction of the board of judges, and also introduction of the speaker of both sides. Mr. Reza will take the floor.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Well, to our board of judges, speakers, students, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. Today, we will witness a discussion between two groups who will express different opinions and information about the advantages and disadvantages of chemical preservatives. And now, we have the honor to present to you the board of judges. Mr. Marlo Latigo, a round of applause. Miss Michiko Ayonson, a round of applause. He is a science teacher and the chairman of the board of judges. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome the chairman of the board of judges, Mr. Jose Ibanez. And now, allow me to read the criteria for judging. Mechanics of the debate. The debate is composed of 2 competing teams with 4 members each. There are 4 speakers in each team, and the other 2 members will serve as the timekeeper and overseer of each team. Each speaker, both from affirmative and negative side, is given a maximum of 3 minutes to deliver his speech. Buzzer will be heard if the speaker will exceed to the maximum time limit. After each speaker, from each side, interpellation will be followed. The first speaker from the affirmative side will be cross-examined with the first speaker from the negative side. And so, for the step for the rebuttal speakers. To determine the winning team, the following are the criteria for judging. Evidence, 25%. Delivery, 30%. Interpellation, 30%. Rebuttal, 15%. With a total of 100%. To determine the best speaker, the following are the criteria for judging. Reading skill, mixed method of memory, conservation, or dramatic, 25%. Voice, gestures, audience contact, and voice projection, 25%. Art of questioning during the interpellation, 25%. Skill in answering questions during the interpellation, 25%. A total of 100%. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the class debate begin. But before that, let us all welcome the speakers of the affirmative side, Patrick Lawrence Chiba, Cyril Joy Manicad, John Paul Gonzalez, and Johanna Ledazan. And for negative side we have Keith Florence Heraldez, Joshua Arguelles, Jonella Costa, Andrea Joy Alimpuyo. And for the timekeeper we have Janet Cardoze and John Paul Hippoliano. And now, may I call on Mr. Heraldez and Mr. Chiba to please come at the front. Now, first speaker of the affirmative side, it's your turn. Your timer starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon everyone. Artificial preservatives can help your food last longer without becoming contaminated with food-borne illnesses, which is the reason they're found in so many different processed foods. The United States have been deemed this to be generally recognized as safe by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Artificial preservatives may act as antioxidants, make food more acidic, reduce the moisture level of food, slow down the ripening process, and prevent the growth of microorganisms, all of which help the food last longer. This means you can make fewer trips to the store and have less food waste because the preservatives help minimize the amount of food you buy that goes bad before you can eat it. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that 24 million children and teens set out for school every morning? Not all of these children were able to prepare breakfast before they go to school. Whether a bowl of cornflakes or a serving of instant noodles, chances are those who did eat chose something tasty, cheap, and ready to eat almost instantly, thanks to the ingenuity of the processed food industry and the help of artificial food preservatives. This elaborate food alchemy yielded piquancy to dull dishes. We were able to create tasty crackers and chips, beverages and biscuits, and many more. With artificial preservatives, food were more convenient, cheap, tasty, and long-lasting. With this quality of food products, we will be able to stop the increasing rate of hunger and malnutrition, which are the prominent issues of our country today. And we will be able to store good quality food products for times of emergencies. Imagine the possibilities, ladies and gentlemen. We were able to take a few further step into the advancing realms of the culinary world we hold today. Thank you.
Okay, interpolation from the first speaker of the negative side. Your timer starts now.
You said that using chemical preservatives are generally safe. Do you have any data to support your statement?
Yes, I have. So, according to the culinary historians, such as Rachel Loden, pointed out that in the past it was the unprocessed foods that were dangerous to our health because of the bigger chances of spoilage and rotting that leads to the possibilities of being downright poisonous. I believe that the use of natural preservatives gives rise to hundreds of questions about safety and convenience. Hence, we believe that it is better to be practical and rely on the advanced and tested ways today. Thank you.
Okay, for your first speaker of the negative side, your timer starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Certain chemicals and compounds are used to prepare foods to improve their look, color, taste, and texture. Some food additives also deter the growth of microorganisms such as bacteria and molds, which extends the product's shelf life and profitability. However, there are also disadvantages to consuming food additives because they may trigger allergic reactions and possibly lead to serious health problems. Chemical preservatives such as BHA and BHT have conclusively linked to cancer and carcinogenic activity before, according to the study by G. Hockman. Skin rashes, joint or muscle aches, asthmatic symptoms, weakness, and fatigues are commonly reported allergic reactions to food preservatives and food additives. Chemical preservatives such as monosodium glutamate or MSG, food colorings, and artificial sweeteners can trigger allergies and asthma. The prevalence of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD has increased in the last 20 years because of food preservatives. Aspartame, saccharin, nitrites, and benzoate have been linked to cancer because they create carcinogenic compounds during the metabolizing process, as stated by the Center for Science in the Public Interest. Thus, using chemical preservatives is not healthy and safe at all.
In circulation for the first speaker of the affirmatives. Your timer starts now.
So the question goes like this. If it's true that chemical preservatives can lead to other serious health concerns and illnesses, can you give us data to prove it?
Yes. According to the Turkish study published in 2012, edition of Clinical Reviews in Allergy and Immunology, sensitivities or allergic reactions to food additives may be proliferating, especially over the last 20 years. Furthermore, allergic reactions to food additives are usually mild, such as skin irritation, intestinal upset, some breathing problems, so they may be greatly underreported. There are also a number of food additives, particularly aspartame benzoates, that have been linked to cancer because they produce carcinogenic, according to the Center for Science in the Public Interest. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Heraldes, Mr. Chiva, and Ms. Heraldes. And for the negative side, we have Mr. Joshua Ardila. Okay, second speaker of the affirmative side, your timer starts now.
Good afternoon. Chemical preservative help our food last longer without becoming contaminated. Artificial preservative may act as antioxidant and it can reduce the moisture level of food. This process helps us to prevent the growth of microorganisms. That's why all of food lasts longer. We can make fewer trips to the store and have less food waste, because the preservative helps minimize the amount of food that may go bad before you can eat it, and it can help the freshen the food last longer.
In circulation for the second speaker of the negative side, the timer starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Instead of using chemical preservatives, why not implement natural preservatives such as saltine, nitrates, propyl gallate, potassium bromate, BHT, and BHA?
Because using the chemical preservative, it can help the food last longer without becoming contaminated. It can delay the growth of bacteria without necessarily destroying longer storage its period. It can help the food maintain freshness for longer period of time. Using these chemical preservatives, we were able to create more flavorful and tasty crackers. With this artificial food, we were made more convenient, tasty, and long-lasting. With this quality of food, there are less increasing hunger. We can store food for more emergencies. And if we use the natural preservative, the precious food is only available for a short period of time.
Given the idea, it can contain freshness, but do any of these chemical compounds provide better and longer shelf life for food compared to these natural preservatives?
Yes.
Okay, so now, second speaker of the negative side, your timer starts now.
Certain preservatives, including sulfates and sodium benzoate, may cause adverse reactions in a small percentage of the population. Sulfites help limit the growth of bacteria in wine and the discoloration of dried fruit, but can cause potentially deadly allergic reactions in sensitive individuals, including rashes, low blood pressure, diarrhea, flushing, abdominal pain, asthmatic reactions, and analytic shock. Sodium benzoate, also called benzoic acid, is used in acidic foods to keep microorganisms from growing. In sensitive individuals, it can cause asthma, hives, and other allergic reactions. Although sodium benzoate is usually considered safe for people who aren't sensitive to it, When combined with ascorbic acid in acidic foods, it can produce benzene, which may cause slightly increase for your risk in leukemia and other types of cancer, according to the Center for Science in the Public Interest.
Okay. Interpellation, second speaker of the affirmative side.
Do you think natural preservative can cause diseases? Why?
Unfortunately, most of the foods we eat contain compounds that is harmful to our health. But less harmful chemicals are present in all natural preservatives compared to chemical preservatives.
According to the National Toxicology Program, even natural preservatives can cause diseases like cancers. And why we need to use this natural preservative if it can also cause diseases and we can use it for a longer period of time?
In natural preservatives, you can limit the amount of preservatives present in the food. Unlike in chemical preservatives, the amount of chemicals present may not be limited nor extracted. Though it may cause other diseases such as those present in some natural compounds, chemical compounds possess much more serious general health problems, including cancer, cardiovascular diseases, immune diseases, and hormonal imbalances.
Thank you very much, Mr. Argiles and Ms. Manicad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. John Paul Gonzalez. And for the negative side, we have Mr. Janelle Acosta. Okay, so third speaker, it's your time.
I conclude that artificial preservatives are more convenient to use. Artificial preservatives can help your food last longer without becoming contaminated with food-borne illnesses, which is the reason they're found in so many different processed foods. Artificial preservatives may act as antioxidants, make food more acidic, reduce the moisture value of food, slow down the ripening process, and prevent the growth of microorganisms, all of which help the food last longer.
Interpellation from the third speaker of the negative side.
How do you say so that the artificial preservatives are more convenient to use?
You have to know that you can make fewer trips to the store and you can have less food waste because the preservatives helps to minimize the amount of food you buy that goes bad before you eat it. And the artificial preservatives are found in many different processed foods.
You just said that artificial preservatives lessen the food waste. But do you know that it also lessen your life?
Although the food preservatives are thought of as harmful, not all added substances are dangerous.
So you say that the artificial preservatives are not 100% safe for everyone?
Maybe, but only minimal amount of people would be affected by these substances. So for the meantime, food preservatives are more useful to convenient to use to lessen the eradicated hunger because of its cheaper value.
Okay, so third speaker of the negative side is your turn.
Good afternoon. So you as a person that only takes the advantage of the artificial food preservatives are not so sure for the chemicals and compounds are safe, then I conclude that while we take the risk of using convenient food preservatives instead of using natural food process preservation, which cannot cause illness and sickness. Artificial food preservatives can also cause cancer, like leukemia, a cancer of blood. Why not use natural preservation, such as drying, fermenting, and other miscellaneous methods using salt?
Interpellation from the third speaker of the affirmative side.
Are you sure that this process can prevent the microorganism not to cause spoilage and food contamination?
Unfortunately, yes.
If yes, name your reasons.
One of the natural preservatives used to preserve is salt. The astonishing fact that you're going to know about is that salt is the enemy of all the bacteria. Every microorganisms that are attracted to the food will not able to thrive in the presence of salt. So, dehydration with salt is a great way to preserve food.
But food by its nature begins to spoil the moment it is harvested. That's why food artificial preservatives are discovered in order to longer the life of foods.
Preservatives are used to longer the life of foods. But are we going to take our health for granted?
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Acosta and Mr. Gonzalez. And now, the last speaker to the rebuttal speech, Ms. Alin Puyo and Ms. Lirazan. Okay, so for the rebuttal speech of the affirmative side, Ms. Lirazan is your turn.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that every one of us wants to ensure the longevity of our food by preventing contamination. We want to prevent the growth of microorganisms to stay away from diseases and other harms caused by improper preservation of food. So we use the advancement of our technology, which is the use of artificial preservatives. With this, we will be able to live a long and better life. The use of natural preservatives raises certain questions because you can always find safety in the natural ways. Hence, it is better to rely on the advanced and tasted ways. By using natural preservatives, can we achieve to have less food waste? Can the life of food be longer by using it? Can help it minimize the amount of you by the growth bud before you can eat it? Can we slow down the ripening process and prevent the growth of organisms? Big no. So if we want what the best for us, we pick what is good and where we safe and comfortable with. Nowadays, we choose what is convenient, cheap, tasty, and long-lasting. We need to be practical. Let's think big. Let's go out of the box. What would happen to those low-income Filipinos who tend to eat high-calorie, processed foods because they are relatively cheap compared to fresh food? In the decade we're living today, freshest foods are now luxury foods. How can we secure our survival? Artificial is the best answer. The most common and natural preservatives is by using salt. Yes, salt is an enemy of all the bacteria and will not able to thrive in the presence of these. It can help but there's an unpleasant smell and taste that we wouldn't want to have. But we haven't a way to prevent from these. Like the animals we are killed as food, the organisms, yeast, mold, and bacteria begin to multiply, causing the food to lose flavor and change in color and texture. Just as important, food loses the nutrients that are necessary to build and replenish human bodies. All of these are food spoilage. But in artificial preservatives, we can preserve the food longer periods by freezing, heating, and many more. It can also sweeten and more tasty. The convenience of artificial preservatives opens a door into further culinary possibilities and reaches out a helping hand to those who suffer malnutrition, poverty, food waste, and food scarcity caused by unprevented natural disasters. With this advanced and technological stand, the most prominent health and food issues of today. If we want what is the best for us, we choose what is best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lirazan. Now, the rebuttal speech of the negative side. It's your turn.
So you're saying that we must have to use chemical preservatives in order to limit foodborne illness, right? It is true that artificial preservatives limit the spread of the organisms that cause this illness. But haven't you thought that by limiting this foodborne illness just by adding chemical substances and artificial preservatives to the foods that we eat, we're just leading ourselves to the most deadly diseases that would kill us? I know and we all know that these chemicals were added in foods and in different processed foods in order to preserve its life. But my concern here is that it is only preserving the life of food without being concerned for the life of the individual individual, of the person, and of the consumer which is consuming that food and that product. One case here is the deadly allergic effects in sensitive persons. Another is the sodium benzoate, which is present in any chemical preservatives that is being added to the foods that we buy today. Did you know that it can risk leukemia and any other types of cancer? We are informed that humanity is the one that develops our society. But how can we do our responsibilities if we, the human being ourselves, are the one who's ruining each other's lives? I know that you would ask, what is the connection of the human responsibilities with the disadvantages of chemical preservatives that I am fighting for? Well, imagine yourself living in this world and you are eating different kind of processed foods in your everyday lives. For now, the effects of it will not that be observed, but you will be experiencing it acutely when you grow older and when your immune system weakens. Of course, as a part of economic activity, the one who produces or the producer of these kinds of products and processed foods will say that it is more convenient to use chemical preservatives because it is more cheaper. It can improve the look, the color, the taste, and even the texture of the food to make it more attractive for the consumer to buy it. But when someone said that it can risk the chronic diseases that is present in our recent times, they just answered that not all of those chemicals and substances that they are adding in our food are harmful. So what's its point, or what does it mean? It simply means that even though they are the producers, they are not 100% sure if all of those chemicals is 100% safe for all of those consumers. Another stated purpose of this artificial preservative is to preserve and prolong the life of foods. But it has an expiration date, which means to say that when it reaches its limit, it could only trigger the bad effects of it. So, if you're really concerned about your health, where your future depends, you must have to choose, and you have only two choices. You must have to choose between the convenience, as what they say, the convenience for the meantime, or the safety for the lifetime. You can choose convenience, of course. It is your decision. You can choose to eat delicious foods and have that enjoyment while eating processed foods, and I will sure that you will suffer slowly when the right time comes. You can choose to ignore the words that I am saying right now and I am proving here in front of you. But we must always think that our lives were sacred, right? And in order for us to give gratitude to the giver of it, we should and we must value our health by taking care of it. We must always choose our health above convenience because our health is our basic key for us to have the success. And it is not just only chemical preservatives that can give us the convenience to have a proper food to eat. And we must always choose our safety over food advancement because safety is all about life. This is where life depends. And if you're going and by choosing convenience and food advancement, it is not enough for you to have that safety that you will need and that will ensure you to have that healthy lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alintu and Ms. Miranda. Okay, so thank you very much, speakers. Now at this juncture, let us all witness the final message that given to us by Ma'am Josephine Villahermosa. A round of applause.
How did you feel, students? Excited? You feel the excitement, the tension, the emotion. It's amazing, right? You have learned something from the activities this afternoon? Yes. Who can say something about the positive impact of using chemical preservatives? Food preservation is a part of our daily life in early years until now. We use chemical preservatives just to minimize the deterioration of food. To prevent growth of microorganisms, to minimize the amount of food wasted, and you can eat food even out of season. And also, it adds income. But not all food preservatives are harmful and dangerous. Food additives has a specific purpose in preserving foods. Food preservative is not bad as long as you have to know and follow the exact measurement of the food additives that you add to the food, right?
Yes, ma'am. So, wala na yun.
You know, and I know that you learned from the debate. Plus, I will give you a reflection. It is a part of your assignment. A reflection paper about the insight acquired from the debate. You have include in your reflection the emotion you felt when your classmates are arguing with each other just to fight their side. To all of the class, thank you very much. To the Honorable Board of Judges, Sir Marlo Latigo, Mami Chico Onson, and the Chairman of the Board, Sir Jose Ibanez, thank you very much for your time and cooperation.
Well, thank you very much, Ma'am Villahermosa, for that great message.
The best speaker.
I would like to tell you, I would like to announce the winning team first, then after it's the best speaker. We have a unanimous decision. The three of us judging the negative side as the winner or as the winning team. And now let's move on to the best speaker. As I mentioned, we have a unanimous decisions, but I would like to announce from the fourth. Round number four. Round number 4 goes to speaker number 1. That is Mr. Cheva. Round number 3 goes to speaker number 4. That is Argelius. Round number 2 goes to speaker number 2, Geraldes. Round number 1 goes to the last speaker. That is Miss Alipol. Thank you very much. That is the verdict of the three of us. Good afternoon once again.